You wouldn't believe it, but Abraxas Capital bought Ethereum for $477 million in just few days, and in just few hours today another $80 million been splashed into Ethereum. Does it mean that Ethereum is about to pump towards $19,000? I will reveal to you the next targets in this video.
My crypto paradise.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Salmon from Market Paradise. In the previous video we have been discussing what is the reason that after with Paradise Family VIPs we have been taking profits on some of our altcoin swing positions. We are not aggressively going back into the market, and we have been helping ourselves with understanding of the market cycles, the inner cycles, and also how the crypto money are flowing together with the Bitcoin dominance cycle. And I have been telling you that together with Bitcoin dominance that we believe that it will go to the upside. As you can see, that's exactly what happened since then. We have also been looking at the USDT dominance, and that also was bullish. As you can see, we have been understanding that with the highest probability we will be retesting this resistance, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see right now, the USDT dominance retested this resistance, and we will be talking about what's gonna happen next. And all of this really helped us to understand, alright, the altcoins are going to go much lower. Alright, this is not the right time to get back into the market. We are waiting for some confirmations. Well, and in this video we will be discussing exactly that. We will be answering two most important questions. One of the question is when we will start buying back altcoins aggressively with Paradise Family VIPs, and what is the upcoming price action development of Ethereum that will also help us to determine when the alt season can continue and properly start to go into a full power mode. So first of all, let's have a look what kind of effect this had on others' dominance, the effect of Bitcoin dominance going to the upside and USDT dominance going to the upside as well. As you can see, others' dominance, which is an index of altcoins that is excluding the top 10 dominance coins. This beautiful index basically shows us that overall, in average, majority of the altcoins got the rejection, right? So we have been also talking in the previous video about this index bearishness that really helped us to calculate the probabilities, and with the high conviction say that altcoins will have a prolonged correction, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Every single candlestick that you see on this chart is representing a weekly trading activity, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be talking about where we at the moment of the market cycle that I have been presenting to you in the previous video, where we at in the Bitcoin dominance cycle, ladies and gentlemen, and when we will start buying back altcoins. So first of all, for a successful altcoins trading as a professional traders, first of all, we need to understand where we at the market cycle, at which phase of the inner cycles we are at the moment, in which phase of the Bitcoin dominant cycle we are at. All of this helping us with entry and take profits. After that, as a professional traders, we need to understand how the indexes are looking. All of the indexes that we have in the money flow sector needs to be analyzed properly. You need to know exactly where we at on the lower time frames as well as on the higher time frames. Are we at resistance? Who is buying, who is selling, etc. After you analyze all the indexes, then you are going to individual altcoins like Matic, Ripple, Litecoins, and other fundamentally strong altcoins, and you are taking a look at the charts, and then you start separately analyzing each of these charts, ladies and gentlemen. So it has layers. Your analysis always needs to have loads of layers, right? You go from upside where you understand the overall market context, and you go deeper and deeper, zooming in into an individual altcoins where you analyze multiple time frames, and then you will have a certainty that you are trading only with the highest probabilities on your sides. Together with that, of course, you need to have a proper developed and backtested by years of research trading strategy where you have an edge, and then you can be sure that for multiple years ahead you will be successful in your crypto trading. So first of all, let's take a look at the money flow, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look what's weakest and what's strongest. So from here we can clearly see that weakest right now are altcoins, right? The others dominance is minus 180%. Previously, when I was recording the video on Tuesday and Thursday last week, it was the strongest one, but we understood because one of the things was that others dominance is at resistance. We knew very soon after we have got confirmations from whales that the money are starting to flow to Ethereum dominance, right? So we have been in the phase of the inner circles 5 to 4. At the moment moment, what we can see is that the strongest in this money flow is USDT dominance for sure and Bitcoin dominance. Together with that, we can see the crypto total market cap is losing value. That means the money are not staying in the crypto market. They are actually flowing into USDT dominance. And then if we would have a look at the dollar index, we can see small upticks on lower time frames, which means that some of the money are exiting crypto, which means that basically we are right now in the phase 3 to 2, because from the USDT into fiat, the upticks are not that high. And these are just the final confirmations of having a look when the money are flowing into fiat. And most of the times it's happening only in the major higher degree cycles. As you know, these market cycles are happening on a lower degree time frames, together with that on a medium time frame degrees, and also on the high degrees time frames, right? So it doesn't matter if the cycle is a big one or smaller one, these cycles are happening on multiple time frames, and you need to understand the certain guidelines in order for you to be sure where the big money are flowing and where they will flow next. So now that we understand that we are most likely in phase 3 to phase 2 of big money flowing from Bitcoin to USDT, we know that the small money, the retail money are following, but with a slowdown, right? So right now lots of people are actually selling in lost altcoins back to Ethereum. Once Ethereum, because of the Bitcoin dominance, keeps dumping a little bit more, they will again exit and complete the cycle, but later after the whales, right? And once the whales have the liquidity, they will once again buy Bitcoin. How they get the liquidity? When the retail starts shorting heavily Bitcoin, when they start to sell Bitcoin on spot as well, that will be a selling liquidity, and it will provide a buying liquidity for the whales, for the big boys, and they will basically be reversing the cycle. So what we are doing as a professional traders, we need to be zooming in on the on-chain data, looking at what's going on behind the scenes and also at the charts, so we can understand, all right, right now big boys are moving here, big boys are moving there. We want to be riding the waves with the big boys, not with the retail, right? So now that we understand that we are in the phase 3 to 2, we want to see where is the USDT dominance resistance, where is the Ethereum dominance support, and where is the Bitcoin dominance resistance, in order for us to be able to analyze perfectly when is the best timing to get back into altcoins. You know that from a higher time frame perspective, from the ultra high time frame perspective, we are extremely bullish on altcoins. I do believe that there will be a very big alt season, but as I told you in the previous videos, it's not going to be just a straight line to the upside, right? It's going to be zigzag, and only the best traders will actually end up with profits after the whole high degree cycle is finished. As I mentioned previously, there is going to be loads of panic, there is going to be loads of greed during these cycles, and if you want to survive these times, you need to not only work on your analyzing skills, but also most importantly on your mind and on your strategy, and make sure that you are following your system that has an edge over the long run with a great discipline and patience. So right now what we can see in Ethereum dominance is that first of all we are respecting this moving average trend line. From a shorter time frame perspective, we can see that we have this bearish divergence that I have been talking in the previous video, because at the moment we are creating a lower high, but the momentum is already creating a higher high that decreases the probabilities of breaking above this moving average on the first try, ladies and gentlemen. However, it can happen. So what we are waiting for is a close, weekly candle close that is closing in 3 days, 8 hours above the moving average trend line, retested. Together with that, I want to see the indicators, the oscillators like MACD and also RSI to cool off. That means we will get rid of these bearish divergences, and favorably we will create a bullish divergence, and that will be a confirmation, all right, Ethereum dominance is getting bullish, and it seems like we will be able to continue in this first wave from our motive mode wave that I do believe from a high time frame perspective. You know that we have this double bottom Adam and Eve pattern will take us towards 34% of dominance of the whole crypto market, ladies and gentlemen, alright? So this impulse, I do believe that we are creating at the moment only the first wave. And you know, the motive waves are subdividing itself into 5 smaller waves, ladies and gentlemen. And now the question is, are we creating the second wave, or are we still continuing in the first wave? If we are continuing in the first wave, we will go above the moving average trend line, and then that will help us to understand, alright, let's go back into altcoins. We will keep on riding the waves a little bit longer, stronger, or there is going to be a larger correction. And if it's going to be the second wave, I am waiting for a rejection towards 8%, ladies and gentlemen. And if it's going to happen in some corrective mode wave, ladies and gentlemen, like a zigzag or a flat or a double zigzag, which is more common, I mean mostly common for the secondary waves, and the support at 8% will hold nicely, that will be a nice opportunity to get into altcoins again. Why the 8% is because we have been able to calculate perfectly the Fibonacci retracement 0.618 level, which is the strongest one, ladies and gentlemen. So it tells us very clearly that right here we will have some nice support, and if we will be holding nicely right here, Ethereum dominance for us will be bullish, and we will be giving it a bullish probability points. Together with that, of course, I want to see a Bitcoin dominance start hitting the resistance that I will be looking at with the Paradise team a little bit higher. Let me show you what I mean. If I put the Fibonacci retracement tool to the local high, from there to the local bottom right here, so we are analyzing this previous lower degree cycle, we can see that the most important level is slowly being approached by the Bitcoin dominance. However, I'm looking at 64%, ladies and gentlemen, because that will nicely confluence with the Ethereum dominance support, and I want to see the Bitcoin dominance holding below this resistance level, ladies and gentlemen. And after we get some bearish confirmations on a lower degree time frame, it will again give us more probability points to the bullish scenario for the altcoins. It would nicely synergize also with this RSI moving average blue line retest, and it would get rid of the current exaggerated bullish divergence that we are having, because the Bitcoin dominance is creating a higher low, but the RSI indicator is having equal low. So either the Bitcoin dominance will reject right here or from the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, or I want to see a clear breakout below the moving average trend line right here. That would nicely synergize with the Ethereum dominance breakout above this. So Ethereum dominance needs to break above this moving average trend line, and Bitcoin dominance needs to break below this moving average trend line. Right now, however, what we are seeing is that the Bitcoin dominance is rising together with the Bitcoin price, as you can see on a 4-hour time frame, rising as well. So where we at with the Bitcoin dominance cycle, ladies and gentlemen? Bitcoin dominance is increasing, Bitcoin as well increasing, and the alts are decreasing, right? Previously, Bitcoin dominance was rising, Bitcoin price was decreasing right here just few hours ago, and that caused altcoins to dump very fast. So right now, it's very important to watch how Bitcoin will be reacting to the resistance where we at right now, because if it starts to decrease and the Bitcoin dominance will sustain its bullishness as the probability says right now, the altcoins will continue to dump fast, alright? So as you can see, Bitcoin price is right now at resistance. We are retesting the previous structural resistance. There is a highest probability, if we will not be able to sustain a new support above this ascending trend line together with this moving average, the probabilities are that the Bitcoin will continue to go to the downside, probably towards this 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and go and revisit around $98,000. What we want to see also, what we are watching for, is USDT dominance. As you know from the previous videos, we are having this prolonged bullish divergence because the price action is creating lower lows, but the oscillator is creating higher lows, right? This is a classic bullish divergence. If you are on our website mycryptoparadise.com, educating yourself together with other paradisers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When the price is having lower lows but the indicator is making higher lows, it basically tells you that the momentum is decreasing and the bears are losing strength and the bulls are having a nice opportunity to take over into a reversal. And that's exactly what happened and is happening right now. And we are actually having a final cycle of our USDT dominance from a higher degree perspective. You know that we are creating this 5 moves to the upside, 5 moves to the downside. This was our first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave in an expanded triangle. And right now we are having a fifth wave that will be extended because none of these previous waves were extended, okay? So the fifth wave will be extended and we can actually calculate the subwaves of the larger, higher degree fifth wave, and we can calculate first wave, second wave, third wave right here. Well, and right now we are creating a fourth wave, and then the fifth wave will finish right here at 4% 30 or it can go even lower towards 4, maybe even 3.8%, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So this would probably nicely coincide with the Ethereum dominance target, but we don't know yet, right? That's why we need to watch all of the indexes, and once we get confirmations from all of them, we will get the highest probability play, and that's when we will go with Paradise Family VIPs extremely aggressive again and maximize and juice the profits from the market. So right now, what we can see is that the fourth wave is actually being created in an flat pattern, all right? Corrective flat pattern, ladies and gentlemen. And the question is right now, if we will sustain a resistance below 4.70%, it will be a regular flat and we can continue to go lower. However, if we will start breaking above the resistance, it's going to be an expanded flat, and then the C wave will be much larger than the high of the A wave, okay? And if it's going to be an expanded flat, if we will see a confirmation of, first of all, getting above this neckline, so a reclaim, break, reclaim, that means like we will turn this into a support. There will be a higher probability that we will start breaking above this resistance. Again, if there is going to be reclaim, it will confirm that this is going to be an expanded flat, ladies and gentlemen. And with Paradise team, we are monitoring the market 24/7, and basically the C wave with the highest probability will revisit the descending trend line right here. Together with that, we have a nice resistance in this area, and I do believe that this will be the target of expanded flat, and after that we will start getting rejection towards one of these support zones, ladies and gentlemen. We will be talking about that in the next videos. Right now, however, it's important to have a watch out on the USDT dominance. Because of the bullish divergence that we have on a RSI indicator, higher probability probably is that we will start breaking above the resistance. But again, we need to start watching that. If the price action will slow down, it will cool down the indicator, and then the probabilities will decrease. So to answer the question, when we will start buying back the altcoins aggressively, with Paradise team, we are watching the money flow of the big boys, we are analyzing and monitoring the indexes, and we are also watching the individual altcoins that we are interested in trading. And once we get confirmations from all of these, and we will get maximum of probability points to say, all right now it's good time to get aggressive, we will start getting back to the altcoins. At the moment, even though the higher probability is that we might go a little bit lower with altcoins, this is not an opportunity for shorting, all right? Why? Because we understand from the higher degree perspective, we are extremely bullish, and there is going to be an alt season with the highest probability, right? So the same way with Bitcoin, when we have been saying at these prices and these prices as well, that it is not a great probability to go into long positions, the same way, because we understand the higher degree picture as we did on Bitcoin, on altcoins right now, we understand also right now it's not the time to short altcoins, it's the time to look for long strategies on altcoins, right? So every dip, if it's going to be in our strategy and tactic perspective, should be treated as a buying opportunity. We are not shorting altcoins at all. Let's also answer the second question. What is the upcoming price action development of Ethereum? We don't have much time, so I will go through this very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. We can see right now that we are creating an impulse, right? This was our first wave, second wave, third wave that finished right here, and right now we are creating an expanded triangle. Again, if you are learning Elliott wave theory on our website, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Expanded triangle, here you have it described in the bearish case. However, right now we have it on a bullish case, and that means the A wave is right here, the B wave is right here, C wave right here, D wave right here, and the A wave will probably finish right here, which is at around $2,300, where also we have a huge liquidation pool finishing, so pushing the price action below this would be extremely hard, and for the market makers not actually profitable. As you can see, great liquidity pools below us, and it finishes at around $2,300 exactly. So this would be a nice buying opportunity. Again, with the Paradise Family VIPs, we are looking for the reaction we will have right here. It is not only the descendant trend line of the A and C connections right here, but also it is a Fibonacci retracement level that I've calculated this way. Basically, look at this. I've taken the previous cycle, I've placed the Fibonacci retracement tool from the bottom to the local top, and I've been watching where the C wave actually finished, and it was at the 1.272 level, ladies and gentlemen. After that, I've put the Fibonacci retracement tool to the previous cycle, I have done the same thing basically, and as you can see, it showed me this nice support area. It synergized perfectly with the descending trend line. It synergized with the liquidity pool, ladies and gentlemen. So I will be looking at the reaction there, and with the Paradise team, if we will see that this is a nice opportunity for a buy, you'll definitely be interested in buying Ethereum, because we understand that right now the probabilities are better for bullish strategies on altcoins, and we are looking for much higher targets. So after that, we will finish this impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with a push higher about the target of this first motive mode wave. I will be talking about in the next videos. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, trade safe, trade with strategy. I don't have time to go through the higher time degree targets, but I have been analyzing that for you in the previous video. So if you have not watched the previous video, go watch it right now. I'm uploading every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So I will see you next time. If you didn't absolutely hated this video, feel free to smash the like button, and I will see you next time. Cheers.